Hey guys, what is going on? It is Brooke, or the Undead DM, back at it again to review the second to last subclass for the Pugilist by Benjamin Huffman, known as the Squared Circle. If you guys are enjoying the series, please leave me a comment, like, and subscribe for more episodes of Homebrew Review. If you guys have a homebrew you guys wish me to review, please leave it down in the comment section with a possible link, and I will get to it as soon as I can. If you guys haven't seen the Pugilist baseline, the Pugilist base class video already, I would suggest going to see that before seeing this video. But then after you're done, feel free to go look at the other subclass videos to determine if this is something that you want to purchase for yourself and play. So without further ado, let's get started. So in my previous video on the Piss and Vinegar subclass, I mentioned that the Dirty Tricks feature is similar to the Way of the Open Hand Monk, and their unique features that they can do with their certain things that they could do with their key. The Squared Circle is that. At level 3, you get Groundwork, and what Groundwork does is it gives you additional Moxie features. So, you get the Compression Lock, where when a creature attempts to break free of your grapple and they succeed, you can use your action and a Moxie point to force them to roll again, and they must use the second result. So basically, you get a use of the Lucky Feat, but only on grapple checks, and only if the creature succeeds. It doesn't work if the creature fails or if the creature makes any other kind of check. It's specifically to break your grapple. Quick Pen. When a hostile creature provokes opportunity attack from you, you can use your reaction and spend one Moxie point to grapple them instead. And to the mat, you can use a bonus action to spend a Moxie point and make an athletics check with a DC equal to the AC of one creature within 5 feet of you. And on a success, you grapple the creature and knock it prone. So we'll cover the entirety of the subclass in a moment once we get through everything. So, also at level 3, you get Muscle Mass, where you gain proficiency in the athletics skill if you don't have it, and if you already do have proficiency in athletics, you get double your proficiency whenever you use that ability skill. This, I think, is a lot better than giving them proficiency in a skill and then giving them the option to get proficiency in a different skill if they already have proficiency in the given skill. I think this is a lot better. A lot of subclasses need to really take this and run with it, because this is significantly better, considering how the Pugilist doesn't have access to expertise. At 6th level, you get Meat Shield. When you have an enemy grappled, you have half cover against all attacks made by a creature you're not grappling, and when a weapon attack made by a creature you are not grappling misses you, you could spend a Moxie point to have that creature make the same attack against the creature you're grappling. So essentially what's happening is that you have a creature in a grapple, and anyone who attacks you, if they miss because of that +2 bonus to AC thanks to half cover, if they miss you, you can use your reaction and another Moxie point to have them make another attack roll against the creature you're grappling. That's about it. It's a fun flavor feature, and it definitely has some uses, but not that much. Now, 11th, we're getting really important here. If it doesn't have damage bonus, if it doesn't have a damage bonus, we are in trouble. You get Heavyweight. You count as one size category larger for grappling and shoving, and you can move your full movement speed while you are dragging or carrying a grappled creature. So no damage, and it's basically a ribbon feature. Sure, counting as one size category larger for grappling and shoving purposes is nice, because if you have the spell Enlarge Reduce on you, and you're, say, a creature with powerful build, like a Goliath is already a medium creature, so it counts as large. And then if you have enlarge reduce, you're now a large creature that counts as huge. And if you have this, you now count as a giant creature, meaning you can now grapple a creature who is gargantuan because you can grapple creatures that are no bigger than one size category larger than you. So you can grapple a red dragon with heavyweight Goliath and the enlarge reduce spell. It's certainly not bad, but it's definitely not a good feature since you're losing out on damage. And finally, at 17th level, you get the ability Clean Finish. While you have a creature grappled, you have advantage on all attacks against it, and when you make unarmed strikes or pugilist weapon attacks against a creature you're grappling, you score a critical hit on a 19 or 20. Okay. So let's just go over why some of these abilities are okay, and some of them are just not good at any capacity. So let's go with Groundwork at level 3. So Compression Lock, Quick Pin into the mat. They are fine abilities. I wish Compression Lock didn't have to use your reaction and only spent a Moxie point, or required your reaction but didn't spend a Moxie point. Basically, it's using 2 resources to get something that somebody with the lucky feat can just expend 1 resource to do. You're literally spending double the amount of resources to achieve the same goal. Not that good. Quick Pin, I mean, sure, getting the ability to grapple on a reaction can be good, and you do reduce their movement speed to 0, but it just doesn't seem like it would do a lot because you're losing out on the opportunity attack damage. But I guess if you have them grappled and you're at a high enough level, you can certainly do some damage. And then To the Mat is interesting. It's interesting because it states here that on a success, you grapple the creature and knock it prone. But in another homebrew that I'm going to review later down the line, you have to fall prone with it. But with To the Mat, you just knock the creature prone. So you essentially grapple the creature and you knock them prone, so you just have them by like their ankle. And so now they have a movement speed of 0, and while you're grappling them, they can't get up because in order to get up from prone, you have to expend half of your movement speed, and you can't expend half of 0. Meaning, as long as you maintain that grapple, there is nothing they can do. They can't get up in any capacity. They even have disadvantage on attack rolls against you because they're prone. I think this is by far the best option, but having it require your bonus action and losing out on the damage that the old 1-2 can do for you is kind of sad. If this was just like, I don't know, if this was like when you hit a creature with an unarmed strike, you can expend 1 Moxie point to grapple the target in addition to the damage, and the DC equals the AC. And if you meet, then you grapple them and knock them prone. I think that would be a lot better, because you're still getting the damage. It doesn't cost you your bonus action, but it's still using a resource. I don't think that's that broken. Not even that good, really, because you're still in melee. But I think it's better. Again, muscle mass is basically just a flavor feature, ribbon feature. It's not going to do much for you. Meat Shield. I think Meat Shield would be better if it didn't specify... Wait, does it specify? Yeah, it would be a lot better if it didn't specify a weapon attack. Because realistically speaking, if you're holding a creature in like a chokehold, and you have them in front of you acting as a meat shield, how is a scorching ray going to hit you? It doesn't pierce, it just hits you. So how is it making any sense that it's going basically around you and hitting you? And also, once again, this is the same level that people are getting Conjure Animals, which is one of the best spells in the game. So at the same level that you get Meat Shield, actually no, it's one level earlier for Druids and a couple levels later for Rangers, you are getting the ability to make a single attack that misses you, possibly, not guaranteed, possibly hit the creature you're grappling. Or you could play a Ranger or a Druid and cast Conjure Animals, conjure 8 animals, have them all grapple somebody, and now they have to make 4 grapple checks as their action for 4 turns because breaking a single grapple is inaction. And if you're grappled multiple times, you have to make multiple different grapple checks to break out of each one. So, at the same level that a druid can do that, you get the possibility of an attack hitting a creature you're grappling at the cost of your reaction and a moxie point, when all the druid has to do is spend their action and cast Conjure Animals, and then they just get 8 additional actions. Okay. It's not that good. But what I would do to change this is, when you have a creature grappled, you gain 3/4 cover. This way you at least get basically a shield spell on you for as long as you're grappling them. And when any attack were to hit you, if it wasn't specifically area of effect, so like when an attack that does not affect an area, or isn't an area of effect, or something like that in terms of wording, is made against you, you can use either a reaction or a moxie point to make the creature you're grappling take the damage instead. I think that'd be a lot better because you're literally using someone as a meat shield. I think that would be a lot better. Like, still, I would prefer going the route of expending moxie points, because this is basically your defensive ability. You grab a dude and you use him as essentially extra hit points. You're using another person as temporary hit points. I think that's fine if you have to expend more moxie points. But, you know. Heavyweight, this needs something in addition to damage. It needs damage with this. Maybe you can use a grappled creature while you're grappling a creature. You do additional damage, and you can make an additional attack on the turn against the grappled creature specifically. So something along the lines of you count as one size category larger for grappling and shoving. You can move at full movement speed. And then in addition, while you are grappling a creature, you deal an additional D8, D10 damage on all your unarmed strikes and pugilist weapons, and you can make 1 additional attack on your turn against the grappled target, but only against the grappled target. And then finally, clean finish. This needs to be at level 11. This needs to be an earlier feature, because for whatever reason, people who make homebrew marshals, they seem to think that getting a critical hit chance is a huge deal, when on average, the critical hit chance doesn't increase your damage per round by a single point of damage. It increases it by 0.03 damage. Literally a fraction of 1 point of damage. A fraction of a fraction almost. It is so minuscule that critical hits are basically never calculated when calculating DPR, because the damage increase is so minimal that doing the extra math to account for it doesn't matter. And getting a 10% chance to crit as opposed to a 5% chance to crit, that makes it go from a fraction of a fraction increase in damage to only a fraction of an increase in damage. So instead of going from a 0.03 damage, you now go up to like maybe a 0.1 damage. So you're still less than 1 point of damage. And sure, getting advantage on all attacks against the grappled creature, that should just be standard. That should be with muscle mass. That should be part of muscle mass. Clean finish needs to be completely changed. I don't know what it is with homebrewers that they seem to think that martials having overtly, stupidly powerful capstone abilities is just completely unfathomable. When spellcasters, like high level casters, they can cast things like Force Cage, Planar Binding, higher level conjured animals where they can conjure 32 animals. Like, it's just insane that at the same level I can conjure 32 snakes and grapple somebody 32 different times. I can crit 10% of the time as opposed to 5, and I gain advantage on attacks against a creature I'm grappling. That's mind-boggling to me that that is seen as a equivalent in power. It's not. But that's really all I have to say about the class, the subclass. If you like the video, leave a like, comment what you want me to review once the Pugilist is over. Also, leave a comment and tell me how I can improve on the series. And in the next episode, we will go over the final subclass for the Pugilist in the Sweet Science. And then in the episode following, I will be releasing the Pugilist Homebrew Math to show you guys how the math works out with the Pugilist versus the Monk in the most optimal circumstances. So, without further ado, I will see you all in the next episode. Latest.